Hello book dragons. I am actually here to start a vlog for you all. So I am going to start my reread of Romancing Mr. Bridgerton for the Netflix series that I'm absolutely in love with. I read this book back in 2021 and this was before the show came out. I think I read this like after I watched season one. So once I read this, I knew that it was going to be Nicola Coughlan and Luke Newton, but now I want to reread and see the adaptations and like how things go. The first vlog you're going to see is me reacting to the second half of season 4. I'm going to film that in conjunction with as I'm reading this, as I have a little bit of time, and then you'll see this vlog where I kind of review this and give you guys my thoughts. I always go into every adaptation that I ever read knowing things have to change and things have to be different, but I remember really liking this book when I read it, and now that I've loved this season so much, I'm hoping that my love for this still holds up. This was one of my favorites of the whole series. So yeah, I'm going to probably physically read this just because the audiobook and me are not having fun. Right now I'm just having a rough time focusing what I'm doing it. So I'm gonna read like the first, I don't know, like the first like 50 pages of this and give you guys an update. I am also in the middle of the Amazing Readathon, and this will count for a sightseeing prompt, so it will get read hopefully this month, but I just do not know when. But I'm starting this today, so you guys will probably see this in the next couple of weeks, but I just wanted to start the vlog. So when I read about 50 pages of this, I will give you guys an update. So I will be back when I have an update. Hi book dragons, I'm back. So we are going to keep going with the Bridgerton vlog because I don't have a new prompt. So I wound up reading 50 pages of Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. I was trying to look it up, but I think I probably read this book in 2021. I think I had just watched the show and I really liked it. Friends to More is definitely my favorite trope, and now that I know everything, like I have literally, like when I read this book I think of the main actors, which I don't know if that's how normal people brains work, but that's how my brain works. So right off the bat, I'm really enjoying it. I think that it did a really good job of kind of setting up their Friends to More dynamic, showing how they've been friends their whole lives, how Colin and Penn are in very, very different spots in their lives. And I think you do see that in the TV show as well, because you did have 3 years, like 2 full years leading up to their relationship, which I do like. I remember I was watching Nicola and Luke talk about the scene where they first met, and they talked about it, I think in the second episode, like how they met, but I would have liked to see it, and I think that they did too. But I really did like that. I thought that was fun. And again, TV shows are always going to be a little bit different, but I do like reading now like how Lady Danbury is the one to kind of announce the competition to kind of unmask Whistledown, because there is no Queen Charlotte in these books. Like when they were first written, she wasn't, I mean she was a character, but she really wasn't like in the book, so that's really interesting. I totally forgot that Penelope had a little sister named Felicity, and she was very, very good friends with Hyacinth. But I just this story is working for me a lot. I also like that it is dual point of view. But yeah, it's just working for me. Like I'm having a really fun time reading it. I'm only like 56 pages in and we're waiting for a prompt. So this will definitely be a sightseeing book for the Amazing Readathon. But I don't know if I want to watch like Bridgerton while I'm reading this, because like I might confuse myself. So I think I'm just going to read this until the leg prompt goes, and then I'll go actually watch it, because this is probably not going to count for anything. But I'm really having a fun time. I'm liking it. It is very sarcastic, and you can immediately see in the book they have like a dynamic with each other, and I think you notice that in the TV show right off the bat. Like I remember watching the TV show and being like, oh, those two have a dynamic, those two have chemistry, and they weren't even on screen for longer than like 10 seconds with each other. So I think the book is doing a very good way of doing that as well. And yeah, I'm just having a fun time with it. So I'm gonna go read another 50 pages and give you guys an update and give you guys a time check. I think it's like almost like 1:32. But yeah, all right, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Hey book dragons, I'm back. So I did want to say that I did wind up getting up to page 100 in Romancing Mr. Bridgerton by Julia Quinn, and I'm liking this book. I think, you know, I always say when you go into an adaptation, you have to be okay that things get changed, because it's just the way that the world works, especially like how stuff is adapted. One thing I do like about the TV show is I feel like you understand Penn and Colin's relationship a lot better in the TV show than in the book, because it's an insular story. Like you really only see Penn and Colin in this book. You see them like a little bit in the other books, But really, it's this book. So I feel like the strength that the TV show has is that I felt that relationship. Like, I felt their relationship from season 1 because we knew it was friends to more, and we knew that that was going to be developed, especially everything with Marina in season 1, and then season 2, the whole like whistle down thing that got revealed. The book does it very, very differently. So the book is like very much, but we just got the scene in the like in the drawing room when she read his writing, and I think that like I forgot that was like even in the book. So I really do like that. I think the scene was done very, very well. Colin is so oblivious, like in the book. I think he's like so in his own little world, and she is so in love with him. And I think the show does it so obvious. Like, you know, in the first season that Penelope's in love with Colin. I think it takes Colin a little bit more, and I know the moment in the TV show that happens, so I'll be curious to see, now that we're getting in both of their heads, how that happens. But I really do like the book. I think it's very, very interesting and compelling. And I don't even remember when I found out, like, she was whistled down in the series, because it's not being revealed quickly as I thought. But yeah, I just like it. I mean, it's very hard for me to read this book and not see the actors, because that's just how my brain works, but I'm really having a good time. I'm going to have to take a little bit of a break for this, because this is my sightseeing book for Madagascar, but when I pick it up again, I will give you guys an update. So I got to 106. I'm very, very pleased, and I will see you guys when I have another update, probably in about a day, unless I read this book ridiculously fast. So I will see you guys soon. Back dragons, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update on my Bridgerton vlog. I did wind up reading to page 150 in Romancing Mister Bridgerton. I'm liking this book. Like, I liked it the first time I read it, and I think half of it is because I just really like the TV show, but I'm liking this book. I mean, again, I always say when you kind of go into an adaptation, you have to know that things are going to be different. But I think because in the TV show, you've sort of seen them in these situations throughout the whole show. There was a lot more that happened, like other stuff that happened in the TV show that didn't really happen in here. Like, there is no Marina, or if there is a Marina, it's not done the same exact way. But I think Colin comes to his feelings a little bit earlier in the book than he does in the TV show. Like, Colin like literally got slapped in the face with it, about to be in this moment. So I think Colin is definitely a little bit more up, but also Penelope, it's like it's interesting because I really don't remember how the whistle down reveal happens in the book. I remember in the TV show clearly because I just watched it, but like you don't even know she is whistle down. So it's just very interesting. You're in her head, you don't know that as the reader, so I forgot how that is, but it's just very much them having a very, very like friendly relationship, you know, and you always know in the whole book, she's like, I loved him, I loved him, I loved him. And Colin's like in his own little world. But there are moments in this book where Penn pushes him. And I like that because I think that that's something you definitely see in the TV show, especially in the second half, when they're kind of figuring out how they're going to live and how they're going to manage this. I know the book does end differently because Penn does put down her quill. But I kind of like in the TV show that she didn't. I'm right up to the part where Penn asked Colin to kiss her, and I love that in the TV show. That was like one of my favorite scenes. But they definitely have a lot of conversations about writing, and that's like very, very interesting because it was touched on a little bit in the show, but I'm liking it. There's also a very like sweet relationship between her and Eloise in this book. It's done, I just think there's more page time, there's more like interconnected world, so I do really like it in the TV show as well. But yeah, you're definitely seeing the smutterings of a romance. Like, it's definitely friends to more. It's definitely like all of those vibes, which I like. And yeah, I'm having a fun time. I read this about like 3 years ago. So I'm going to go read another like 50 pages of this and get up to 200. And then I'll give you guys an update. We are waiting for a prompt drop. And this is not a fantasy book that I can like read for my legs. So I'm just going to kind of read it in between. I'm also going to go watch the 6th episode of Bridgerton and see how I feel about that. But I mean, I do like it. I just think it's weird like reading a book and then watching the show, but that's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go read a bit more of this, read about 50 more pages, and then give you guys an update. But literally this part was just kind of them getting to know each other, kind of being in the same places and kind of pushing each other, which I think is good. And I think especially for a book that like you don't really see Penn and Colin, like you see them like little bits, you had to spend 150 pages building up their actual relationship. But I feel like in the TV show, we already had that. We had 2 years of them kind of going back and forth, and we had different drama than is in the book. So I'm gonna go read a bit more, and then I'll give you guys an update when I can. Bye. Dragons, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to page 206 in Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, and I will say I do like this book. I think it's definitely one of my favorites in the series. However, I will say this, I sort of like the adaptation way of the Whistledown twist a little bit better. I feel like this book doesn't have the tension that the show does, because Penelope just, in this book, and I'm going to talk spoilers, gave up being Whistledown. She just decided not to publish anymore. So it's interesting that the crux of her identity, and that's really why I love the second half of season 3 so much, because I felt like it really delved into that. Also, Colin gets angry in this book, and I think it's more like him really dealing with his feelings. But the like the first kiss scene was literally right from the book. There was elements of that literally that whole scene was in this book. So I like that the audience got that. There was also elements in there in the way that they did the mirror scene that was kind of pulled from that, so I do like that. Lady Danbury and Penelope have a very, very interesting dynamic in the book, and I sort of wish we get to see that in the show. The Cressida twist is very, very similar, so I do like that, but I just like the way that the show did the like the Whistledown thing, because I think that for me, when I read a romance, I tend to like the self-discovery plotline, and I feel like Penelope got that, and I'm going to talk about that in my video. That one's probably, you probably could have watched that already, because I think it's probably going to go up first, because this might take me a little bit longer to read, but I am enjoying it. I think Colin is definitely in his head a lot, and he's channeling his emotions, and I think sort of in the book and in the TV show, that was the moment that he sort of realized Penelope's not just my friend, Penelope might be more, so I do like that. But I just sort of wish that the Whistledown twist, or the Penelope would have fought a little bit harder in the book to stay Whistledown, and I think in the TV show that's one of the elements that I really, really did like. So I'm gonna go read another 50 pages. I don't know how long that's gonna take me. And I will give you guys an update. So I'm also filming a bunch of different vlogs because I'm going away next week. So you'll see this vlog, and then you'll see me review the TV show, and then I think I'm also going to do a vlog where I react to all the seasons of Bridgerton in one video, just because people have not been liking season 3 as much as I have, and I want to go back and really rewatch season 1 and season 2 and give you my full thoughts. I do think that season will be my favorite, but we will see. So I'm going to go back to reading this, and then I'll give you guys an update. Bye. Hey Book Dragons, I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. It's actually Saturday, so I did end up taking a little bit from reading this book because it didn't fit for the prompt, but now I'm back to sightseeing, so I am back to reading Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, and I'm on page 304, which means we really got to the crux of the story in this. And this is where I think the TV show has a little bit of a better arc. I just think that in the TV show, Penelope wanting to stay Whistledown, and again, that may be more of a plot point right now, but I know the end of the series does not have Whistledown, so I know eventually she does give it up. I just like the struggle, and I think she's not struggling as much in this section, but I really did I like that we got the line, "Am I a mess? Yes, but you're my mess." I love that line, so that was like cute that they got that from the book. And I'm having a fun time with it. I think that it's very much a friends to more story, kind of starting in the middle. So like, I think you hear a lot about these characters interacting, but you don't actually see it until like they get together. And I think that the TV show had a lot of time, had 2 years of buildup, and that story worked more for me. I still think that Penelope and Colin in the book, Colin's very, very arrogant. Colin's very, very demanding. And I just think that like Colin gets more angry in this book, and the Colin in this book is very, very angry in reference to Whistledown. And I think in the TV show, Colin was just very upset, like the way Luke played it. But I really like it. I mean, I'm enjoying it. I like seeing the representation and stuff like that. I think I'm definitely gonna go rewatch season 3 when I'm done and see like what I really, really like, and that will probably be, I don't know, maybe I'll include it in another video or something. But right now I'm just watching the last part. This is where we are, so we're really at the last part. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna go read another 50 pages and give you guys a time check as well. I'm also watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians because I want this to count for sightseeing, And I know that if I don't read it this weekend, it's probably not going to count for sightseeing because I'm not going to have any more time. So I'm going to take today, I'm going to finish this, watch a little bit of Keeping Up with the Kardashians just because it's a little bit of background noise and not anything I have to focus on. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think that honestly, sometimes when I think that in a TV show, you need to build up characters. And I think that the way this story was written, it is not that much of an ensemble piece, but the TV show does it very, very well. So, controversial opinion alert. But I'm going to go read a little bit more of this and go charge my camera because I have to take this with me later. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. And I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up getting up to page 358 in Romancing Mister Bridgerton. I do like in the second half of this book that you are seeing a bit more conflict in Penelope's. It's not even conflict of her giving up Whistledown. It's more like conflict that she was Whistledown, which I think is interesting. And I think that, you know, again, this book was written... When was this book written? This book was written in 2002, and also it was based on Regency time, so I think I just have to be okay with that. Like, it's not really a story where Penelope is going to find her passion and find her purpose, but I'm okay with that. And I think that the TV show did it very, very differently, and I almost just prefer that because I think it's more stronger for the character's arc. But then again, I'm always a reader that looks for self-discovery in my romances, so sometimes when I read historical romances, I don't always find that. But I like them as a characters. I think Colin is definitely more angry and alpha male in this story, like more over the top and more angry. And I just think in the book, Luke Newton didn't play the character that way, which I do like. And I know that I was watching a clip when they were talking about when in the TV show, when Colin found out, they were all crying because Luke Newton found that scene very emotional, and so did Nicola Coughlan. And in this book, that scene was all anger. I find it so funny that everyone talks about the mirror scene. The mirror scene isn't actually in here. They have a talk about like a scene that happens in front of it, like in a room, and they mention a mirror, but the scene does not happen in front of a mirror. So I actually liked the twist and turn that the show did, because there was a mirror present, and I really, really like that. So I thought that was interesting that all the fans were really excited for the mirror scene. There was no mirror present, so I just found that was funny. But yeah, so I mean, looking back on this story, like again, I have like 100 more pages left, and I honestly don't remember this book. I just know that I liked it. Probably still gonna be like a 5-star read for me, more like a 4.5. But I really liked it. I just think that, you know, I'm happy that I reread it. Because I definitely see a lot of things. I tabbed it. It's probably gonna be a book that stays in my collection. But yeah, so I am going to go read a bit more, watch a bit more Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and try to finish this because we just got a detour for the Amazing Readathon. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of vlogs at the same exact time. So all of these are involving the Amazing Readathon, and I feel like we're going to get another prompt tomorrow. So I want to finish this and have it be done. I also am heading to San Diego next week, and I want to be as up to date on prompts as I can be. So yeah, I'm going to go read another 50 pages, get up to 400, and give you guys an update. So far, I would give the book like an A. Like, I like it. I don't think, I mean, again, I'm enjoying it. I think that this is definitely up there in my favorites. But again, you know, you're never going to get an adaptation as perfect. But I'll give you guys my thoughts at the end about which one I think portrayed the story better in my taste. I think you guys can probably have a little bit of a hint. But I will see you guys in about 50 more pages. Bye. And I just caught up, well, finished Romancing Mister Bridgerton, and I'll be honest, I have some conflicting thoughts. So when I read this the first time, I gave it 5 stars, and I still think it's going to be like a 4.5-star read. I'm going to run it up to 5 on Goodreads. However, there is a few little things overall about this book that I think I didn't like as much on reread. I like that they pulled a lot of stuff. I think that whenever you do an adaptation, you have to be okay that they're going to change things. And to be honest, I think that for me as a reader, I am very much a self-discovery reader. Like, I like to have a strong self-discovery plot for both male and female leads. And I feel like this book didn't do that. I feel like having a character as Lady Whistledown it really took away from her in this book. And I think at the end it kind of redeemed itself a little bit because she was going to write a novel, and maybe that's the way that the TV show is going to go. But in the TV show, I feel like that arc was done a lot better. I feel like the character had a lot more. I felt like the friends to more romance in this book did not feel like a friends to more romance. It felt like they were acquaintances that sort of knew each other, and I just didn't see the friends to more vibes. I liked their relationship. I think it was interesting and it was fun. I think that Penn was definitely the stronger part in this book. I think Colin just was a very different character in the book than how I saw him on screen. And maybe that's why a lot of people prefer the book. I just didn't really like Colin that much in the book. But I think what I liked about the adaptation so much was how Luke and Nicola played their characters. And I liked in the second half of part 2, we got a very clear, like, Penelope really had a fight about Whistledown, and I like that, and we didn't really get that in this story. I think that a lot of things were taken from this book that I did enjoy. The carriage scene was taken from this book. The mirror scene was taken from the book. There's a lot of elements in the story that kind of got pulled, and I like the first kiss. So a lot of their big moments, I think, honestly made it into the scene. There was a couple of things that didn't, but again, like, I just felt like the heart of their story was here, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I am definitely going to do a couple more videos about Bridgerton because I just really want to, and they're fun to film, so I will definitely do that. But tell me, have you read this book? Tell me if you've read it, what did you prefer? This may be a controversial opinion. I think I liked season 3 more than this book. I did. And maybe that's controversial. Tell me if you agree. I think that the TV show did things better in some regards, which I will talk about in my reacting to the end of season 3, which you will see whenever I finish filming it. But yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Let me know if you want more videos like this where I like pick a random TV show and read the books about it. I was already a fan of this, but I would love to do more for you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.